Coming up right now, Optimus Prime was caught and arrested driving a stolen car. Why this character has nothing to do with the next Transformers movie.
A waitress fired for posting a video of a bizarre interaction with a customer, why the man is actually coming to her defense.
And later, the real reason why Real Housewife of Atlanta, Kenya Moore, has been suspended from the show.
Ruh-roh. Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to a Wednesday edition of Daily Flash. Very happy to have you along for our ride. We got a whole hour packed with trending news and entertainment. Also, Matt Doolittle going to be joining us as well. Matt, how are you?
Good.
My man, Mateus. I'm going to start calling you that.
Mateus.
All right, Mitchadias.
Mitchadias and Mateus. That's our Greek name.
So they put out a thing that they're going to do a Spaceballs 2 with
No.
Josh Gad. And they tried History of the World Part 2, and it was just awful and cringy to watch. I'm like, can we just leave these alone from the 70s? Like, they're not going to be able to make that type of humor.
Yeah, and if you saw it, I was so disappointed.
It was horrible.
And you know, I love Mel Brooks by all means.
Yes.
And then sometimes some classics
They just don't translate.
They don't.
No.
No, and that especially History of the World. There was so many things that it's not politically correct.
Right.
But Spaceballs is one of those movies. Just leave it alone. It is what it is. Maybe make something on another realm or whatever. I don't know. Well, John Candy's not around anymore. We can't have a Spaceballs with John Candy.
Well, that's who Josh Gad would be replacing is John Candy, and it's not this.
Oh, he's gonna play.
He would play that type of idea, but I don't even know if they would do it. Would they make fun of the new Star Wars films? Would they make fun of Mandalorian? Would they not even reference it? I just leave it alone. Call it something else.
Can you make fun of the new Star Wars film?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, you know.
I'm exactly.
Oh, you can. Trust me. There's a lot.
It's Marvel. I'm not allowed making fun of Marvel.
Marvel, yeah. Well, even that now, Disney's even pulled that back. They're like, we're going to invest in the movies and the parks.
Only if you're in Gotham.
Gotham, yeah.
Chicago!
That's what I'm saying. Is that the purists out there, man? All right.
You'll appreciate this. New trend among Gen Zers. They are going to job interviews with their parents.
Why?
Get out of town.
No, I swear.
And what is the reasoning behind that?
1 out of 800 people surveyed, starting 1 in 5, said a recent college grad brought a parent with them to a job interview.
Okay, and is it helping at all?
No.
No, all right, good.
It's not helping at all.
Good.
It's causing more problems. 1 in 5 employers say that recent college grads are unprepared for interviews and are often unprofessional. They show up late, they show up inappropriately dressed, they expect too much salary, and they want extreme numbers of days of time off. Yes.
You know, and you know, they have, if you think about it, over the last, since 2020, you know, everybody kind of working remote. That's the norm. Okay, I can understand that. The dressing thing, to this day, you dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have or whatever. Right.
53% of employers surveyed said that recent college grads struggle with eye contact. 50% said they ask for unreasonable compensation. 47%, that's almost half, do not dress appropriately for interviews. And 21% said they refuse to turn their cameras on for virtual interviews.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that plays a lot into it. The parental thing, the parents showing up tells me, if I was somebody coming, I go, this person is, first off, is
a no-go.
Is a no-go, by all means, because it's telling me everything I need to know about you, that you have not let go and you're not independent enough, that you have to have your parents to come.
You've saved me time and money.
Thank you.
Parents are like, yeah, sure, I'll go to your job interview with you.
That's,
like, who else? What parent would be like, no, go on your own?
Great question. But we've got this generation of helicopter parents, which it's hard to believe, we're sort of part of that.
What a nice young lady you are.
Is that so?
That's
really?
what they'll do, yeah.
Oh my God. It's just nuts to think that a parent would even agree to do something like that.
You got to let go, cut those strings, man. And that by doing that is, you know, you're hindering your kids. The hardest thing in the world for me as a parent, I've got 5 kids, is saying no.
Yeah.
And then also letting them make mistakes when you know you can help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and because they'll only listen to you after a certain age is when they start listening to you. Anyway, I can go on and on about the end of that. We got some parental advice coming up a little bit later on for you, but let's talk about what's happening in the world. When officers in Austin, Texas, they arrested a man, his name, Optimus Prime.
Come on.
and he was caught, well, driving a stolen vehicle.
Oh.
The arrest report says 37-year-old Optimus Prime Blakely was charged with the unauthorized use of a car. Now, the affidavit alleges that Blakely was stopped by officers after he was pulled over for driving a car reported stolen. The name Optimus Prime, if you're not sure, was made famous by the 1980s cartoon Transformers, later turned into several blockbuster movies. In the movies, alien robots go hiding on Earth as cars and even other everyday items, even insects. As robots in disguise, Optimus Prime took cover as a red and blue semi-truck. And as for the man with the Transformer name, Blakely was taken to jail, where he was bonded out on an $8,000 bond altogether. That's your name? That's your name. I wonder if that's his Christian-born name or if he changed it.
I was going to say, did he legally change his name, or is that just what he goes by?
Oh, well, they said his name was actually Optimus Prime. So I'm thinking he had to have changed it.
Yeah.
Because what are we talking about? Bad parents.
Yeah.
That's a bad parent,
yeah.
right?
I mean, you know how many kids were named Luke and Leia after, like,
That's
in
true.
the 70s and 80s?
In the 80s, it was Luke and Laura.
From
From General Hospital, but
Hospital.
then Luke and Leia in the 70s.
I was just thinking that would he be the parent that would go to the job interview?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
What, with his kid?
would get you the job.
With his kid Bumblebee
Yes.
intact, and
No.
his neighbor Megatron, and then
Optimus is he can transform into anything. He's a young, bright young man. That's
Oh,
crazy.
goodness. A waitress in North Carolina claims she was fired for posting a video of a customer eating dinner with an inflatable doll. Hold your laughter here.
Okay.
The server posted the video while she was on the job at the easy for me to say, restoration hardware restaurant. She turned the camera, showed the male diner seated across the room with an inflatable female doll
Come on.
who was propped up on the seat across
That's
from
not
him.
a real doll.
The doll had yellow blonde hair, appeared to be wearing a
Let
black.
me guess. Was her mouth open wide?
it was for soup.
Oh, for sure.
She was being hand-fed grapes by her human date.
Okay.
That she would ask that. The camera then turned back to the waitress, who said no words. The video racked up 1 million views, and a comment from someone claiming to be the man on the date with the doll. He claimed it was a payback for losing a fantasy football bet.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's
But she was
That makes me
fired
feel better, actually.
for posting the video. Should she have been?
Okay, I think she should have been reprimanded by all means, because it is, privacy is one thing when you go up, but obviously if you're taking an inflatable doll,
and that's a
looked
high-end
like
restaurant too.
Yeah, that's not a.
Wait, hold on, it's a hardware store that's a restaurant?
Well, they have.
Restoration hardware? Do they have
Yeah,
restaurants?
they have them in like West Palm Beach and Jacksonville, like high-end areas. It's like your hoity-toity sort of
Okay,
thing.
so you're going to shop there, but you can also eat there.
can
as
eat there.
well.
If you're going to blow
All
a
right.
lot of money, you can go there. If you're going to blow up your date, you can go there as well, right? I get it. If you're calling for that kind of, you're not calling for privacy if you're just going to set down a
No.
doll, you know that you're going to call attention.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that
He
was
lost a bet.
going
So yes.
all right, good job. We go on now to some Housewives news. Kenya Moore has been suspended from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Moore shocked partygoers with posters of a series newcomer Brittany Edie in what looks like a very compromising position. Now, Bravo cameras were rolling at the cast event where the 53-year-old Moore decided to unveil the explicit images. An investigation followed, and Moore was suspended from the show. After the scandal made headlines, Moore took to Instagram and posted, quote, "The truth always comes to light." I remember when she first started, because Atlanta was my favorite.
Yeah. Oh,
Because I
you
love
wa-
Candy.
Okay.
Remember when Candy came
I've
on
never
our other show?
watched- I've
I
never
love
watched,
Candy's
yeah.
my girl, all right? So I would always watch Atlanta. When they brought her on, she was this sweet, innocent woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she was really
But
nice.
on the show, she comes across as.
Well, now she's doing this kind
Yeah.
of crap. I mean, this is what the show does to these women, is it turns them into just horrible people, I guess. Because she was Kendra was she was really nice,
Yeah.
and kind of like, oh, I'm a good kind of a Christian going kind of feel. And she was also a beauty pageant contestant.
Former Miss USA.
Yeah,
So
Miss
yeah,
USA former.
so she had this persona
Yeah.
about her, and she's turned into doing stuff like this. But that's what gets attention, so that's what's going to happen, right?
Exactly. That's what sells. Well, actor Kevin Spacey recently joined talk show host Piers Morgan for an in-depth interview. During the 90-minute exchange, the two-time Oscar winner opened up about his fall from grace following several sexual assault allegations. Spacey also recalled flying on Jeffrey Epstein's jet with President Bill Clinton and a group of young girls.
Wow.
He mentioned his gratitude toward Elton John and King Charles for their support during the last decade. Spacey also revealed that he's looking at selling his home to pay for legal bills that have left him millions of dollars in debt.
He also admitted on that, Piers Morgan, he goes, "Yes, I guess I was a little I admit I was handsy," but he didn't say necessarily to who, and I think that's where it comes in because a lot of these were young men
Yeah.
that were saying that he was handsy and more. There's a documentary
Oh,
out right now.
it's
Have you watched
oh,
it?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very disturbing.
And how callous he was and a
Mhm.
lot, or at least in this documentary
Not
they're playing up.
apologetic whatsoever.
Yeah, wouldn't take any
No,
responsibility
no,
for it.
and seemed to, according to these guys, use his power in Hollywood to keep them quiet.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
More Flash coming up around the corner. Stay with us. It's time for us to head into the parenthood. For kids, summer is actually a time for relaxation, vacations, lots of fun, but it also can be an opportunity for growth and learning. Joining us now with some ways to keep kids entertained and engaged this summer is parenting expert Katherine Sellery, one of my favorite people to talk to. Hi, Katherine.
Hey, likewise. I'm so happy to see you. How are you?
I am well, even though summer is started, and my bonus son and I, we were excited because we got to plan out what we're going to do. Obviously, all the trips we're going to go to, all the places that he's going to make me take him. We've got all that lined up, but it doesn't always have to
Awesome.
be all about that sort of time because it's all about the memories. If you think looking back, memories are usually growing up, you think about the summertime. But it actually can be a good time, you say, during the summer for them to learn, maybe not necessarily just teaching skills that they might need from school, but also emotional things and so on. And I want to talk to you about some of those things. And we, as I just mentioned, doing vacation. You say I could actually make this educational. Do I need to tell him that it's going to be an educational vacation? Explain me what this is, because I don't think he's going to want to go on it.
Totally get that. Yeah, you don't, but you can plan, your vacation. Go to science museums, historical sites, nature reserves. These are all great family-friendly places to go on that summer weekend adventure. Not only do they have attractions that offer educationally conducive environments that are safe and fun to explore at any age, a lot of them are free. So you can have fun with the family while not spending a lot of money, and everybody loves that. And for more excitement, try planning the nature scavenger hunt or the historical tours. A lot of kids are really interested in that with your kids while you visit the attractions to get the most out of your visit.
I agree with you. Okay, now, as I said, we did some planning, but you say even planning hypothetical trips are actually a good thing? Explain
Isn't
that.
that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just think about that. I can't go to Iceland, but I want to learn about it. And God, that sounds so fun. So it might seem a little strange at first, but actually, allowing your kids to think about and plan trips themselves with your guidance, maybe some feedback, but really giving them the reins helps them understand like the logistics that go into getting a group of people somewhere. And it can teach them how important it is around budgeting and travel times and, the different resources that they can use, like the internet. It can even propel them to look inward to figure out what kinds of things they would be really like thinking would be enjoyable instead of looking to you all the time to provide something interesting for
Yeah.
them to do.
Yeah, I
You know what
agree.
I mean?
I do. Well, I even, as you said that, I think sometimes in marriages, it does. No, I'm serious because, usually there's one spouse that does all the planning, but if you have some hypothetical thing, it actually will garner, I imagine, a lot of imagination, and I could see it as a
Yeah.
child really growing from all of that. You mentioned staying, basically, getting on the internet. That would involve staying at the home and such, but you say you can do some creative learning at home as your next tip. Explain that.
Absolutely. So, engaging in those do it yourself projects can be tailored for any age and any interest. For example, you could prompt a build an instrument and can have a solution as simple as putting an old shoelace or a rubber band over a shoebox with a hole, or as complex as woodworking or digital software synthesis. It could take an hour, it could take a day, it could take the whole summer. I mean, it could light up their enthusiasm or interest. So, finding the right prompt can give your kids a boost in their imagination and creativity, and finding the thing that sparks their interest is key. So maybe your child wants to try cooking or baking something with you, or maybe they want to write a song or make a painting. Regardless of the task, exploring those topics through creation is engaging and can teach countless new skills.
We are always thinking, all right, how am I going to keep the kid busy? How am I going to keep them all active? Let's sign them
Yes,
up for all kinds
for
of
sure.
stuff. Let's get them, jujitsu. Let's get them guitar lessons, that sort of thing. But we need to think about the downtime too, I would imagine,
Yeah.
as well. How important
So
is that?
true. Yeah, so that's really important because that's what summer vacay is all about, right? So finding the enjoyable and acceptable entertainment to balance all the outdoor and family activities is also really key. So maybe you have a bookworm in the family, or maybe you don't have a bookworm in the family, but
Okay.
whether you do or don't, establishing reading habits over the summer can be an exceptionally rewarding way for your kids to stay engaged during their off season instead of forcing them to start reading through this or that. Just set up a cozy reading nook. Host a family book night where everybody can share thoughts and ideas about a certain book that they really love. If your child is more oriented toward those online games or digital media, keep an open mind. There are online resources and educational games that make learning really fun, interactive, interesting. So even games that you may not think of as conventionally educational, they can teach history or math or politics or strategy more through immersion. So
Okay.
talk to them, ask them questions, watch them play. All are good ways of engaging with them and enjoying just the downtime and making them feel comfortable with what they're playing.
To do a little sideline question here, since we have our parenting expert on you, Catherine, what about keeping them on a schedule? I mean, how far off should we go from that schedule? Because, I mean, it is summertime. They're like, Mom, I want to sleep till 11 o'clock every day. I mean, do we go, or do we let them, how much of that do we give them, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I loved giving my kids as much time as it's the only time, right? And so much of their lives is oriented toward other people telling them what to do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the only time, it's the only season in the year where they can have a little bit more autonomy, and be more self-directed. And it's so nice for them to begin to
Yeah.
get a feel for their natural rhythms. So I say, if it's really not bothering you, then let them have their time to choose when they want to go to bed and when they want to get up. It's really the only time in their lives, really 9 months out of the year, they're scheduled.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And I imagine it would also, in the summer, it would teach them, it's like, hey, look, we're giving you a lot of responsibility. You have this. If you decide to sleep till 11 o'clock and, you miss it, well, there's consequences to that. But it allows them to make that choice. Is a perfect time, actually, now that I
Yeah.
think about
I
it.
mean, again, if it's something really important to you, you
Yeah,
can set that up too, right? Like
that's
if you've got
completely.
a big day plan tomorrow, that's not the day to say, do whatever you want, Charlie. That's the day to say, hey, this summer is all about you guys really enjoying and having autonomy that you wouldn't have otherwise.
I
And
agree.
there are times that we got stuff going on. And it's
True.
really important that we do get to bed early. So
Catherine,
it's
thank you
both.
so much. We are out of time here. Freeparentingbook.com is the website you want to go to find out more.
Welcome back to the Daily Flash. In today's KSA Cares, we are highlighting an organization that has had a positive impact on the community for more than a century. The Prince Hall Shriners are known for their colorful parades and work in the community, and it's that work changing children's lives in the state of Florida and across the world. Jamal Phillips and Lorraine James and Desert of Florida Youth Representative James Alexander II are joining us to talk about it. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. How you doing today, sir?
Doing great. So why is it important to put a focus on today's youth?
So, sir, I feel like putting the focus on today's youth is putting the focus on our future. Our youth is our future, and helping support, guide, and mentor them to help us in the future. Trying to say it in the best way possible, but to try to help us in the future and get us on the right path for the future, along with our youth.
So the Desert of Florida has won many awards for its youth program. So what exactly do you do with the youth that you work with?
So on a monthly to monthly basis, we have temples set out through the Desert of Florida. I'm gonna take this step back. We have temples set out through nationally, but we're focusing on the Desert of Florida. So we have 15 temples set out through the state of Florida, 12 courts as well. So that gives us 27 youth groups, which focus on community service, volunteer work, providing for our elders, and other things through like that through our community.
And how does
Within
it
our
feel to
community.
kind of see those returns come back? I'm sure you've worked with a lot of the children that have moved on and everything and have given back to that. How does that feel to see them kind of put that back into the communities?
Um, I'm sorry for talking so much, daughter James. You can jump in at any time. For me, it's like we have a couple of kids that we have one child that just graduated from the fire department school, so she's constantly giving back to her community with the job she selected to do after getting out of our program. So we have youth that are continuing to feed into the community as they get out of the program.
And so we've got Mr. James Alexander II here in studio. I've known him since wee baby. What does it mean for you out there, like being able to give back, and how are you seeing it from these guys that are kind of being your mentors and your people pushing you to do better in the community?
That means a lot to me, because they teach me how to help others and help back to the community, like going to HBCUs, learning more about our Black culture, and teaching us that it doesn't mean to.
What is it? It kind of gives you that confidence to be able to go out there and give that back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so Miss James, you had a youth convention in New Orleans a few weeks ago that saw hundreds of youth attend. Why was it an important milestone for your program?
It was very important for us. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Particularly because this was the first time that our youth program was allowed to come together and host a separate program. Normally, we are with the entire Imperial Youth session with all of the adults, but this time we took it a step further, and they allowed us to have our own specialized youth program separate from the adults. This allowed us to be able to mentor to the youth, also provide leadership skills to the youth, and very importantly, help prepare them for the future. They were allowed to have their competitions, talent shows. This year, we were actually able to provide them with CPR training. Many of our chaperones across the United States are CPR certified. Every one of us are background screened and have been approved. So we are in line with the law as far as making sure that we are allowed to be with children that are under the age of 18. This year, we also were allowed to show the kids how to prepare for an instance of an active shooter. What are some things you need to do? Now, so these are things that the kids many of them have not learned in school. However, we were allowed to provide this training to them. Some of the other things that we do on a national level is, like, we went and visited to the Ronald McDonald House, in which we were allowed to give the kid speak with the owner there and with the local groups there, give them a donation. I think it was a donation of $1,000. So this showed our children that were in attendance with us that you too can give back. You're not too young to give back. You will be trained how to give back to the community and help those who are in need. And this is one of our priorities with the youth departments. We try to train them on how to achieve success, how to achieve education, and good academics, how to avoid conflicts in life. And we also continue to help prepare them for what's coming in life. Right. You know, we teach them leadership skills.
Well, that's great to have out there, especially right now in a world where there's so much other information out there for them to grasp all of that. And thank you guys for all of that. We'll make sure we have that on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Thanks, everyone.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
It's been about a year ago, but the Murdaugh murders, I mean, just how it had everybody enthralled in what's going on. Of course, there was the documentary, I think, on Netflix and such. Yeah. It's called the Southern Scandal and stuff. Well, we all know what happened, of course, to Alex Murdaugh, but his son is pretty much the only one left, Buster. Well, he's like, I ain't got a job. I'm going to need some money. So he's suing Netflix because what he says is that they inferred that he is the one who killed the 19-year-old on a remote road. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So while they never in the show said that he had done it, they show a character, you know how they do reenactments, had red hair and carrying a baseball bat, okay, inside of that. So one would to believe, according to Buster, that they were referring to him. Well, he said, well, I didn't do it. So I'm going to sue you for slander. And so now he's going to be able to do that. Looks as if that case is actually going against Netflix. So this is not done by all means. And Buster needs some money. So if you think about that.
I do recall in that documentary, they were suggesting that maybe the two had some sort of interactions prior to him being killed. I don't know what those interactions were and what their relationship was like, but
they were ambiguous about that,
yeah.
about what it was. And
it romantic.
No, did they?
Yeah, they made it seem like he was having a fling
yes,
with him.
and maybe,
I think they maybe alluded to it and allow you to figure that out.
And in that community, it was like a no-no for homosexual like relationships.
Right.
That was what mainly they thought why that kid was killed.
Was highly suggested that was the reason behind it.
So defamation lawsuit. So that means it's not going away, and that whole story is just crazy. And matter of fact, I think even Alex got even more time. What was it, like a month, 2 months ago?
I think he
just
did, yeah.
Back for. So he's not going to get out of jail.
And then they did a follow-up to the original Murdaugh murders, and then they sort of from a couple of different people's perspective. There was a juror, and then there were a couple of other people. I think there was a house manager.
Yes.
And she was talking about how the food was moved and the clothes were moved. It was like very odd, strange things happened.
I think out of all of this, if this does kind of continue on, everybody's going to go back and watch it again because they're going to see what they're talking about. So it could be a good thing for Netflix. So we'll see.
Officers in Austin, Texas arrested a man named Optimus Prime after he was caught driving a stolen vehicle. The arrest report says that 37-year-old Optimus Prime Blakely was charged with the unauthorized use of a car. The affidavit alleges that Blakely was stopped by officers after he was pulled over for driving a car that was reported stolen. The name Optimus Prime was made famous by the 1980s cartoon Transformers, which was later turned into several blockbuster movies. In the movies, alien robots, they go into hiding on Earth as vehicles, everyday items, animals, insects. As a robot in disguise, Optimus took cover as a red and blue semi-truck. As for the man with the Transformer name, Blakely was taken to jail where he was held on an $8,000 bond.
Who knows if he's going to get out by all means. But what a crazy, maybe he loves the movie. I mean, maybe he's a big Michael Bay fan.
When I first heard when I hear the Optimus Prime voice, I think it's Liam Neeson. But have you ever seen the real guy that voices? Optimus?
He does not look into.
Nothing.
None of the voice actors do.
No,
see the guy that plays
for
Winnie the Pooh.
For Optimus Prime, it's like this, just this big foreboding, and then you see the guy who actually voices it, and it's.
I think the biggest surprise I ever had was on Family Guy. The guy who does the voice for Cleveland Brown is this white guy, this old white guy.
The mom from Bob's Burgers is a guy.
Is a guy, that I did know.
Okay,
I think even the daughter is a guy voice too. So and they do have that. We move on now to North Carolina, where a waitress there says she was fired for posting a video of a customer eating dinner with an inflatable doll, and we got the video. She posted the video while on the job at the Restoration Hardware restaurant. She turned the camera on, showed the male diner seated across the room with an inflatable female doll propped up on the seat. The dude was feeding it, okay? Grapes. And so she gets it and she writes, turns the camera back around. She goes, no words. Well, anyway, she posted it. Millions of people looked.
Yeah.
She got one comment from the guy who said it was him. And this made me feel a lot better. He said, I lost a bet and I had to go do this.
Sure he did.
Well, it's a great excuse. From now on, I'm using that by all means.
Anything you do wrong, I lost a bet.
But it does sound like one of those fantasy football bets that you would have to do something like that.
Hey guys, this week on The Scene with Doreen, I got to catch up with Andrew Ferris, the man behind the music of one of the greatest rock bands in history, In Excess. Check it out. You did have a very special musical, but also very personal connection to Michael Hutchence. You guys complemented each other's musicality very much. And was it because you guys were similar, or was it because perhaps you were very dissimilar that it was so successful a partnership?
Yeah, that's an interesting observation, Doreen. I think that we were similar people in as much as we both love music. but as people, we're kind of different people and we're into different things, and that's okay too. But Michael was a very enigmatic kind of guy, and he was my friend, and we were school friends too. We were friends, and these guys were our friends, and we didn't think about it all that much. But later on, when the pressure come on us as a group of guys, that's when you find out those early years really mattered, because instead of people freaking out or getting big egos, or it becomes all about business or whatever, it's not that simple. It's like there's something much more stronger. I didn't actually start out necessarily saying I want to be, a solo artist and like put on a prospector hat and some long johns and a waistcoat.
I love it. I love the
and
look.
a bandana. I didn't start off thinking that. When I took on what I'm doing with my solo country, rock, folk music, Americana that I'm doing now, someone said that's brave, and I said, "Oh, I don't know if I like the sound of that," But then I thought about it and thought, well, I guess it is a bit brave, but that's okay. I'm going to do the best I can. I write the best songs I can. I record, make the best recordings, and hopefully entertain someone and give them a happy time.
Your gift, you've just been doing it for over 4 decades, and it's not slowing down. And I thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome, and I appreciate that.
What a wonderful chat I had with Andrew Ferris all the way from Australia. And if you want to hear more of our great conversation, you can visit right here. And for now, I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash every week. See you next time.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. As the weather heats up, so does our social calendar. Join us now to share insider tips on how to make your next gathering both memorable and effortless is Danielle Cartwright, catering expert from McAllister's Deli. Thanks for joining us, Chef.
Of course, every host wants a little bit of time to make sure they're comfortable, they have what they need, but sometimes you're planning in a pinch and you need some help. McAllister's is here. We have same day delivery or pickup for catering. Leaning into that variety is key, and McAllister's is here to help you with that. We have a great baked mac and cheese. It comes in barbecue chicken or veggie, and then this is our spud bar. Everybody gets their own. They can customize it exactly how they want with their own toppings. For people who just want a light grazing snack, I highly recommend our grazing box. Is fabulous, has an assortment of meats and cheeses and veggies. If you're having a breakfast or brunch offering, highly recommend our French toast bar. It's delicious. Everybody gets their own French toast baguette, personalize it however they want. So there's a lot of different options. And then from now until Labor Day, if you spend $150 or more, not including taxes and fees on McAllister's Catering, you can get $15 off with promo code SUMMER24. You can visit McAllistersDeli.com/catering or visit your local McAllister's Deli to learn more.
A critical deadline is approaching for victims of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder products. Next week, tens of thousands of women who contracted cancer as a result of using talcum powder will have an opportunity to vote on an $8 billion settlement plan that would resolve years of litigation. The deadline is 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, July 26th.
So this is a case that's about litigation that's gone on for many, many years that involves products made by Johnson & Johnson with talcum powder. Women who believe they have been injured from a product made by Johnson & Johnson have the right to come forward and vote on a plan that was negotiated after years of litigation and months of negotiation to bring forward this offer to women that needs to be voted on now.
I am voting yes on this plan because I feel like it is our best option for compensation. I suffered a financial burden during treatment, and I need this to go through to recover from that. And I feel like there's a lot of women out there who, if we don't go through with this, they're never going to receive justice. I grew up part-time in the South. It was very hot and humid, and we used these products to stay dry. We used them in our intimate areas to stay fresh and dry, and I used these products up until my diagnosis. I was diagnosed in February of 2022 with stage 2 ovarian cancer. I went through surgery and 6 rounds of chemo. The chemo was very hard. I had really bad bone pain, brain fog, It was tough. It was a very financially and physically taxing, and I'm still dealing with the effects of that today.
This is an important time for women who believe they've been injured by this product. This is a long battle that has been fought by many people across the country, that this plan has come forward with an offer to all of you. And we urge you to vote in support of it by July 26th. There's an official website where women can get information, all they need. It's extremely user-friendly, and we urge women to go to officialtalclaims.com to get all the information they need that I believe will answer all the questions about why they should support it and vote yes.
And now, a great way to stay healthy throughout the day while boosting your energy.
Nutrition experts recommend dividing protein throughout the day with about 25 to 30 grams per meal to help maintain muscle mass over time.
When you're short on time, a no-fail way to help add protein is to grab the new Boost Max Nutritional Shake. For simple ways to help maintain strength, check out Boost Camp, a first-of-its-kind online destination for adults looking to explore exercise and nutrition tips.
Visit boost.com/camp to learn more.
A celebrity power couple is unleashing their winning spirit as a part of a special campaign to inspire dog owners this summer. Joining us today is Kyle and Kristen Juszczyk. Now, Kyle is an all-pro fullback, and Kristen is a famous designer who specializes in custom clothing worn by celebrities, and they're teaming up to launch the Purina for the Win Challenge. Welcome, Kyle and Kristen.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Thanks for having us.
So why are you both involved in a competition like this one?
You know what? We are both very active and both very competitive.
Yes.
And we've passed that along to our dogs, Mozzarella and Pierogi. And so this summer we've teamed up with Purina, and we're participating in the Purina for the Win sweepstakes, which is basically a chance to go outside, go play, go bond with your dogs through a series of Purina challenges.
So what are some of the challenges pet owners can try?
Yeah, Purina has issued 4 challenges. My personal favorite is the Busy Minute Challenge, where you have 60 seconds to show off your pet's favorite tricks. We love it when Mutzi and Pierogi howl, sit, lay down, stay, and now it's your opportunity to show all your dog's favorite tricks. Another good one is Begging to Play Fetch Challenge, where you can go outside and play fetch with your dog, whether that's with a tennis ball, a frisbee. Go outside, bond, and play some fetch with your pups.
How can pets' parents and their dogs join in the fun?
So you can go to purinaforthewin.com to learn more about the challenges and sweepstakes and all the competition rules.
Thanks to you both, and we'll make sure we have this on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Time now to talk summer beauty survival and the must-haves you need in your beauty bag. Joining us with the scoop is beauty and lifestyle editor Joanne Butler. Hi, Joanne.
Oh, thanks for having me. Let's start with an absolute essential to stay fresh this summer. This is the new Secret Whole Body Deodorant. It's for your entire body. Gynecologist, dermatologist tested and made with intentional ingredients that can be used all over the body, so you can confidently apply it from your pits to your privates. Clinically proven for up to 72 hours of odor protection. It's free of aluminum, baking soda, dyes, phthalates, parabens. Secret Whole Body comes in 3 forms: spray, stick, and cream. Goes on clear, so there's no residue or clothes on anything, which is just fab. And you can find it right at food and drug stores starting at $12.99. It smells amazing too. This is the peach and vanilla blossom, just perfection. Now, next, from the #1 awarded scalp care brand Head & Shoulders, this is Head & Shoulders Bare, the perfect addition to your summer shower routine. Now, whether you're looking to cleanse and clarify your scalp or moisturize for extra hydration, Bare can do it all and will just leave your hair looking fresh and fab all summer long. What's so special is that it's made with a super simple formula of only 9 ingredients, including zinc pyrithione, or ZPT, which is a clinically proven dandruff fighting ingredient. It goes really deep to fight dandruff at the source. Great for all hair types too. Sulfate, silicone, dye-free. It comes in 2 different formulas: the Bare Pure Clean, which has this light coconut water scent and is best for those that deal with oily hair and scalp, and the Bare Soothing Hydration, which has this refreshing orchid and aloe scent. Get it right at Walmart and walmart.com. Those are my 2 must-haves for you. Final tips: don't forget SPF. Wear lightweight foundation this time of year. You don't really need anything harsh.
Need to unwind after a busy day? We've got the perfect solution to your sleepless nights, thanks to Disney. Disney Sleep offers peaceful renditions of your favorite classic Disney songs to fall asleep to, and is available wherever you stream music. Just say, "Alexa, play Disney Sleep" to your Amazon-connected device. For the perfect deep sleep, visit DisneySleepSweepstakes.com and enter to win the grand prize, an award-winning NOLA Evolution Luxury Hybrid Mattress. This mattress offers 3 firmness level options, cooling comfort, and pressure relief for sensitive joints. Learn more at NOLAmattress.com. The prizes don't stop there. The grand prize winner also gets a Whim Beside companion lighted speaker with Alexa to stream the Disney Sleep playlist. If you fall short of the grand prize, don't fret. You can still win one of 5 $25 Amazon gift cards. Head over to dailyflashshow.com and click on the sweepstakes button for your chance to win.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Man, we love having y'all along with us.
I saw a headline on the New York Post recently. Some woman pulled another lady aside and said, "I know what's wrong with your son." And, basically pointing out she thought that he was sick and had some sort of ailment. And she's like, "Don't tell me how to parent my own child." Which reminded me, I was out walking the dogs the other day, and some lady had the nerve to come up to me and tell me that I was walking my dogs wrong.
What? Who does that? How do you walk a dog wrong?
I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, who are these people? Who are these people that think they can just come up to you and tell you you're doing this wrong?
I need to know the reference. Like, what were we like?
Here's me
wrapped around your neck or something.
Out walking the dogs. I see who I think is a neighbor. I don't know them personally.
Sure.
I just say, "Hey, how's it going? I'm just trying to be a nice, friendly neighbor." And she's like, "Yeah, hi. Excuse me. Can I tell you something?" And I was like, "Oh no, here we go." And she's like, "You're not walking your dogs the right way." But I had my dogs out in front of me. They're 2 very large dogs, and they've got a lot of energy. And she goes, "You're supposed to be walking them right next to your side on a tight leash." And I was like, "Do I know you?"
I had somebody tell me I was playing with my cat too rough on one of the videos, and I was like, "I'll play with my cat how I want to play with my cat." Okay.
If it's any solace, I guarantee you that woman's husband, she keeps him right by his dick. If you can go up to a complete stranger and tell them they're, and it's the way you do it too. Say, "Hey, can I suggest something?" That's another thing instead of "you're doing it wrong."
And I'm like, "Who are you? Who
does it?
Ultimate Karen.
I just know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's a trainer. Really?
That's what it was. Y'all take care. We love having you along. We'll see you when we look at you.